Welcome to the Social Slice Podcast. My name is Alicia Henley.
And my name is Noble Crawford.
Social Slice gives you a slice of marketing, branding, and social strategy.
From some of the top influencers in the business, we dive into the best practices, tools, and tips
to help you connect, engage, and grow your brand. Grab your slice.
All right, folks, welcome to the Social Slice Podcast. I'm your co-host, Noble Crawford, and I am here with Alicia Henley, and we have the great pleasure of welcoming PSNI on the show as Professional Systems Network International. We have with us Chris Miller, the Executive Director, and Haley Klein, the Director of Marketing and Communications. And I've had the great pleasure of meeting both of them and getting to know them a little bit through a summit that they put on a year or two ago, and also just working with them and partnering with them on some projects. And so I am just super excited to have both of you on the show today. And if you wouldn't mind, both Haley and Chris, if you wouldn't mind just telling the audience a little bit more about yourself and then maybe a little bit about PSNI.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Haley. I'm PSNI's Director of Marketing and Communications, as Noble said. Been in the industry for about 6 years. Love working with Noble and Alicia. Super excited to be here today. My background went from the manufacturing side into now the kind of association side, and so it's a lot of fun to be a part of the show today. PSNI, we represent a group of audiovisual integrators throughout the world, as well as some of the best manufacturers and service providers and distributors within our industry. So we are a 30-year-old organization, recently announced that we are going global, which is, I think, what we're here to talk about today. And yeah, we're super excited to be a part of the Social Slice.
Well, we're happy to have y'all on with us today.
Yeah.
And I'm Chris Miller, Executive Director of PSNI, reformed integrator myself, so been in this industry a long time, served in a lot of capacities and played a lot of roles, and all of that really was very helpful for me to step into this role to better understand the opportunities and the pain points of our members, and as Haley said, now that we are having a global reach, it provides a lot more opportunities and for the organization to really serve its members. So, glad to be joining you today, even though we have our own technical difficulties doing what we do. But besides that.
All right. Well, we are certainly glad to have both of you. And Chris, no worries as you come in and out. We'll just keep going and keep cranking right along here. So I'll let you go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, let's get right into it. My first question is for Chris. So Chris, tell us a little bit about what makes PSNI different, and what are some of the unique benefits available to your partners?
Well, I think the concept is somewhat unique, albeit not exclusive. It's unique in any industry, and certainly ours is not any different. That where partners become cooperative, if you will, to work together, oftentimes when they compete against each other on projects. And, we're made up of a group of selected best-of-class integrators who want to go from where they are, in most cases best-of-class in their markets, to be even better. They strive for next. They strive for the opportunity to learn from each other, and provide those services to each other. So with that kind of platform, it helps us to provide programs and benchmarking and events, networking, to work with our vendor partners, all with the intent of being better and doing better, bottom line, for our customers.
Awesome. So Chris, one of the things that we noticed earlier this year, PSNI announced an achievement of becoming a global alliance. And we've also noticed that since that time, you've added a number of affiliate partners. Yeah. And so we wanted to find out, like, how long had you been working on that initiative, that expansion initiative, and what do you attribute your success to and your growth in reaching that point?
Yeah, so we started this about 4 years ago. We did exploratory studies based on what came out of a strategic plan, and we meet every 2 years for a complete review of our strategic plan as an organization. What's nice about our organization is that PSNI Global Alliance, which we're now referred to, is owned by the stockholders. The stockholders are those affiliate members in North America. They tell us where we go because they use us to achieve their goals. We're an extension of what they do. What they told us was our customers have been taking us throughout North America, and we use each other to support the initiative of our customers in North America, but now they want us to go global. And that's something that is another step. You know, the old saying goes, you don't know what you don't know about doing business in other countries, where you don't know the customs, you don't know everything from the power requirements to the way they purchase equipment, to the way they do customs, and on and on and on. And each country is unique. So that became the platform for investigating what our opportunities were to go global. We started again in the mid-2016, put together a strategic plan, and brought on John Fuchs, who had been very involved in the formation of PSNI back in 1986. And he joined us in late 2016 to help develop a plan to expand over a 3-year period internationally. So with that, we started at ISE in 2017 in February. And since that time, we have 31 offices that are signed up as members, representing 11 members in different parts of the world. We've really been attacking the top 150 GDP cities in the world. Those are the areas where we believe the most business is taking place country to country. Concept wasn't to have the ambition to do large global initiatives, but truly to support each other, even on one-off projects, whether it's between London and Buenos Aires, or if it's between Berlin and wherever the case may be. It could be New York, it could be in Dublin. So that was kind of the premise, that it's just an extension of what we've been doing for 31 years, but on a larger scale.
Got it.
Long answer, wasn't it, Noble?
That was perfect. That was perfect, actually. A follow-up question to that, because you kind of got me thinking, is, so I understand the dynamic of how that would work with maybe a larger partner, say like a Diversified, for example, as a partner who, you know, maybe they have the resources already to do international projects and that sort of thing. And so the other partners that are internationally or that are international can assist in those larger projects. For the companies that are specific to the U.S., are they, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around how this expansion affects them. Are they now saying, okay, we can look at projects outside of our particular sphere, or does that have much of an impact on them?
Yeah, you never know when it's going to have an impact. Certainly, if your core clientele in North America is K through 12 or houses of worship, this may or may not have a direct bearing on you. But then again, you never know. We see it. Our newest member in Buenos Aires, New Tech, has been a member literally for 2 weeks. We started working with Susanna back at Infocom, and within 2 weeks, she's already has a client in her backyard that has a very unique application. And in doing her homework, she saw a project that was actually done in Boston by one of our members. She reached out immediately, literally only being a member for 2 weeks, and saying, I need to talk to those people if at all possible. I want to know more about how they did that project. Well, that's access to something they wouldn't have had. Within weeks after Infocom, our member in Ireland had a project with a customer that was in their backyard that needed some assistance in Romania. They had another that had a branch office in New York. The point being is you don't know that so many of these opportunities are out there until you start telling your customers you have that capability. So few have that ability that they would rather not do it because of the potential of messing it up so bad that they would lose a good customer. The other thing we hear is that integrators will say, we're doing global business because we want to take care of our customers, but it scares us. We have no idea if we're really making any money or not. We're just trying to get it done and not mess it up with so many unknown factors in that project that we're going to do whatever it takes to take care of our customer, but it's a very high-risk endeavor if you don't have people at these locations that have your best interest and ultimately your customer's best interest at heart. So, Noble, the answer is you never know, even in a small market, what the opportunity might be to take care of a customer on a one-off project anywhere in the world.
Got it. Perfect. That's a beautiful thing. I like it. All right. So Haley, I had a quick question for you. Can you walk us through a little bit what you did differently in your marketing as you all were kind of making the push to expand globally?
Yeah. There was a lot of what you would expect in supporting our international director, creating different pieces of collateral and informational brochures, just kind of stuff you'd expect just for that initial touch point, so that people could start to be a little bit more exposed to PSNI. But then from there, we really needed to make sure it was a big deal within our industry. So reaching out to every international trade pub we could get our hands on was a huge step for us because they really helped us to spread the word. And then from there, we needed to make sure that we had a good way for all of our members to communicate with one another because we're working with hundreds of different time zones and we're working with so many people around the globe. So PSNI actually launched, after announcing our global initiative, we launched an intranet software, a private network for our entire group so that we had an effective way to get access to all of our information for PSNI, kind of a one-stop shop. It was an effective way for everybody to communicate with one another. There's, it's got chat forums and that kind of thing. So that was, communication is obviously one of the most important things our network can have because we are working all around the world. And it's important for us to be able to reach out to one another. And then we just looked into a lot of different automation tools because now we went from doing an 8-to-5 job to around the clock. So a lot of different automation tools to streamline all of our efforts. And make sure that we were accessible 24/7 to our members was really important. So there's a lot of making sure our team is able to be accessible to all of our members. It's really important that they can all communicate with one another, because that's kind of the whole point of why we bring them together. And then just, supporting them in every effort that we do. So whether that be through digital or website or whatever that may be, we try to make sure we have all of those tools kind of created for them and helping them to promote PSNI and let them know that by being a part of PSNI, you're now a part of this international network of integrators. So you went from a 30 integrator company to a 4,000 plus member company. So creating all that different information, kind of taking a step back, looking at where PSNI has been traditionally, and then re-educating the market on who we are now as a global team. That was kind of where we focus a lot of efforts.
Well, now here you talk about communication. So what type of events? Because that's something that also drew me into PSNI, was the events that you all put on and offer for your partners. How have they attributed to the growth of the organization so far?
Yeah. So PSNI offers, I believe we're at 6 or 7 events now throughout the year. And it's really cool because what PSNI does is they create different events for different groups of people. So we have our kind of flagship event, which is Super Summit, which Noble has been a part of. In Super Summit, we invite all of our executive leaders from both the affiliate side and the preferred vendor partner side, as well as, we've invited everybody from salespeople, marketing people, HR committees, engineers, because PSNI offers a lot of different educational events during these summits. So it's kind of our executive leadership conference in a sense, but it also brings in a lot of different people from different levels of the organization. The more touch points we have within PSNI is always helpful. And so that's kind of our big one, where it kind of encapsulates everybody. And then we have, then we break it down. So basically then we have our marketing summit, which we invite all of our marketing personnel from the affiliate and manufacturing side. And as you'd expect, we learn different aspects of, new marketing trends. We give our manufacturers the opportunity to present to our affiliates on different outlets that they can take advantage of that maybe they weren't aware of in the past. We have our PVP summit, which is basically like a design engineer summit. That one's very, very cool. It's probably one of our most popular because we bring in all of the actual design. We bring in the design community and allow them to learn the different products and allow them to kind of drill down to the PVPs and say hey, here's what I need from you guys. And here's what I need to understand. Why did you make this product and that kind of thing. So that one's a very interesting one. We have several more that throughout the year that go just like that. But basically what we try to do is we try to drill down to every level of an organization and always provide them some additional opportunity. And just a different learning experience. We can spin off of that. We've got next gen leadership conferences with these guys. We do HR steering committees. We do remote monitoring, education. We have, some of our manufacturers then offer trainings at our trainings. So there's all different opportunities at our different events. And that really provides a lot of value for our affiliates and both affiliates and manufacturers, which is, I think, what helps us to continuously grow our community, because that's just something that you can't really get anywhere else.
I might add to that. Our events really come up through the ideas that they bring to us. And we can bring in the best speakers literally in the world. In reality, what they want is an opportunity to spend time with the people that they trust, their peer group, and those who are in the business, those people sitting next to them. So a lot of our events, we spend a lot of time, and because of our manufacturer support, we put a lot of money in those events, specifically to put these people in the same room together. It's interesting, Noble, your first question about our marketing initiatives. Up until a few years ago, I maintained a very low-key presence that the role of PSNI was to stay in the background, never to take a role that is bigger than any of our affiliates or our members' marketing outreach. We didn't want to confuse the customer with who is PSNI compared to who is this member. We decided to change that about the time that Haley joined us, not to make PSNI a more recognized brand than any of our members, but to use that as a funnel to drive more business back to them. So we always work very diligently. I think Haley is very sensitive to the fact that even though our marketing initiatives through social media and other ways has increased 1,000-fold, we always are sensitive that our goal is not to be larger than our smallest member or our largest member. And I think that's a very delicate role and something that Haley's done a great job with. But we're really a conduit and a funnel for that information. You know, these events are good because of the smallest and our largest all have, if you put them in a room and said, what's your top 3 pain points? You will not be able to differentiate them by necessarily the size of the company. Larger companies have larger problems that are very similar. But smaller companies have many of the same issues at a different scale. So it's not that we have to serve a group within the industry uniquely, but we're in similar businesses as well. And that helps us to put those people in the same room, and the largest learn from the smallest and vice versa.
Got it. So, and you know, to your point, I have noticed, and Haley and I were talking in the pre-show about some content that she produced. It's, you know, I believe you said BuyAmp, Haley, where you're partnering with, you know, some of your partners to create content that's going to benefit every partner, you know, that's part of the organization. So that's good. That's good. I like to see it. And Haley, you are ridiculously busy. I had no idea. Like, Chris, she needs a raise, probably. But no, seriously, I had no idea. Like, you do all these events, and y'all have so many of them, and then on top of that, you're managing the content that's going out. You know, you kind of have to facilitate, you know, communication between all these different partners. So I applaud you, because, like, I think you're doing a stellar job, and you know, I'm just ecstatic that you all are having such significant growth. So we're going to transition here real quick. Just going to take a brief break and just make a quick mention about our sponsor that we were able to pick up, and we're super excited about that. And our sponsor is a company by the name of Videxio. And Videxio is a company that handles or manages live streaming, live video calls. And that's the application that we're using right now for this particular call. And just to give you a little bit of background, and in full transparency, we've actually done some work with Videxio. And so we had the good fortune of speaking with them at this past InfoComm and letting them know kind of what was on the horizon in terms of the Social Slice show. And they were excited about it. They agreed to step in and partner with us. And as a result, we were able to get access to the software that we use to do the video shows. So we are super excited to have them as a sponsoring partner. And so you can find more about them at videxio.com. That's VIDEXIO.com, and get more information on that. And so we'll go ahead real quick and transition back into our next few questions. And Haley, now this one's for you. This is something we also talked about a little bit during the pre-show, but earlier this year, you unveiled a new website. You also, like I said, it looks like you made a concerted effort to increase the amount of content you're putting out on your blog and on social media. So how much of an impact would you say that's made, doing those recent things, those recent changes with the PSNI?
Yeah, it's made a huge impact. We were actually pulling analytics last week on some of this stuff, so I'm actually happy you asked this question. So our website really is geared towards an end user, and everything we do is about our affiliate partners. So making sure we had kind of the hub, which would be our website, where all this information could live about PSNI and our affiliates was huge for us. So we were really excited to launch a new website, and basically with an inbound marketing strategy, essentially with all of our different content that Noble's mentioning. Essentially, we were able to see about a 30% increase in our traffic rate, in our traffic that was coming in. And then you combine that with the different content and the different social media pushes that we're doing. And we're increasing organic web traffic, and then the outlets of which that organic traffic is coming, double month over month. So it's been really exciting to see. We started kind of from nowhere. So, we're up 500%, which isn't necessarily, depending on how you look at it, makes us sound really good, doesn't it? But no, we've seen a significant increase just, and again, automating some of the processes, but we've seen a significant increase in just continuously putting out content, continuously blasting it out to the world through different channels on social media, building up our email list, building up blog subscribers. So we've seen a huge impact to the visitors that we've gained for PSNI, and both new and existing visitors. So we love to look at that. I love to look at those numbers all the time and see how we're doing. That's kind of the beauty of digital too. It's, you can take a look at the numbers, make a change on the fly, and then continue on. So we've seen a huge increase in that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Noble, I think one of the things that's been a byproduct of what Haley has done the last year and a half is that it's been not only has it helped the visibility of the Global Alliance, but indirectly, but directly it's helped the visibility of each of our members. But even more importantly is it's hard to find examples of good marketing within our industry that people will share. There's some great examples. It's just that that's information that's held very close to each integrator because, whether that's their secret sauce or their playbook, the reality is that's not something most people share. When we do things from a marketing perspective, and we do them from a business perspective, our benchmarking, all of that is done in order to share that with our members so that they can learn from those experiences. It's hard to use examples of how marketing is used by Amazon and then try to make that apply to a small audiovisual integrator or service provider. But when Haley does this and we learn from those experiences, and we don't always get it right, we make changes on the fly. That's what marketing is just a series of adjustments and tweaks all the time. Then she shares that with them, and then they learn from that. So that's another benefit that we often overlook, but it's really important because there's not many places to go get that kind of information, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And that's a great point. That's a great point. And that's part of the reason why we started Social Slice, right, Noble? Just because, like you said, some integrators or companies hold that dear to their heart. It's their secret sauce or whatever. But what you all are doing at PSNI is you're taking that and sharing it with all your affiliates and capitalizing on that marketing system across the board, which is pretty amazing. And nobody in this space is doing what you all are doing on the marketing platform or on a global scale, I should say. And it's amazing to watch.
Well, and then you take what Haley and her support team are working on, and then she assembles 5 more best in class inside of our industry. And then when you put that intellectual capital together, the ideas and support from each other really magnifies the opportunities for them, but even more for us. And it keeps us guided in the right direction. That's the good news and bad news about marketing, right? Is that you can go 100 different directions, and it takes so long, maybe 6 months to a year, before you know if you actually achieve some of the goals you set out to. Well, if that ended up being a rat hole, down a rabbit hole, then you've lost all that time while you were waiting on those metrics. We have real-time steering and feedback that we can use, and Haley can always touch those people who do this for a living every day and kind of keep us making real-time corrections. And I think that helps us from losing sight of what we're really here to do, and that's be a support mechanism for them. And in many cases, be a test bed for ideas. And this lead gen program, a very sophisticated program that Haley has assembled, is something that most of our integrators and most integrators in North America would, it's not that they couldn't do, it's they may not invest the time and the resources to do. So by us doing it, we give them an opportunity to see, here's what it really looks like.
Right. And this kind of brings me to the next question. Haley, so you all launched a marketing committee at the Super Summit at your last one, right? And it sounds like you're positioning PSNI to meet a number of marketing challenges in the near future. What's the objective of the committee, and what are you hoping to accomplish there?
Yeah, the committee provides a lot of different purposes. So the biggest challenge I think we always have within the industry or within PSNI is aligning a manufacturer and an integrator, getting them to see eye to eye on just different aspects of the industry. Why are you making the product? What are you doing? How can we support it? How do we work together more effectively? I think that's missing a lot. So it's cool because we brought in a marketing committee to basically understand their pain points and understand, why don't you have the alignment, or what are you missing, or what kind of support, do you need from these guys to help you out? So that's kind of was our first big thing that we wanted to chat about when we brought the committee together. Chris had mentioned earlier that PSNI does a lot of different studies and KPIs to understand both the pain points and the strong points of an integrator. And PSNI will never do anything just to do something. We do it because we think we can maybe help or assist in some area where they need the assistance. Now, like Chris was saying, it's not always a success. We do everything we can as a learning experience for, if PSNI internally, if we do it, we're going to just display, here's the analytics behind it. Here's how it went. Here's what was good. Here's what was bad. Here's how you can continue on with it. So that's why it's so important when we bring these people together, we're able to basically understand, okay, what are your biggest pain points? What support do you need? Where do you feel you're strong, et cetera? And basically PSNI then can take those ideas and we can create different programs out of it. We can create different, training sessions for them, that kind of stuff. So the committee really serves as a purpose to provide insight for our entire group, kind of gives me my strategy for the year on, hey, what do we need to do? And then helps us to continue to understand that whole alignment thing with the manufacturer and the integrator. That's the ultimate goal.
Now, Chris, I have a question because I'm a newer face in the industry, and this was just a question that I thought would be good for the show, getting a little personal here. But you're a veteran in the industry. What, and your wealth of knowledge, I'm sure, is out of this world. But for the younger generation or newer faces coming into the industry, what's one piece of advice that you can give us?
Yeah, I'm glad you phrased it that way because I don't know that I break out millennials from any other new face coming into the industry. I guess the advice I would give is the same advice that I was given, and that is, don't miss an opportunity to make a difference. Don't sit back and wait for someone else to do it. Jump in there, get involved, make a difference, take a risk. And I see that. I see that today, and I'm just so impressed. This industry's reinventing itself so frequently that new ways have to keep backfilling existing ways. So the risk is not near as much as one might think to conform. The opportunity is really to just jump in and wherever you come in and do everything you can. Just jump in and go. Don't wait for someone to tell you to do it a certain way. I just see so many smart men and women coming into this industry, especially women. And I applaud the industry associations like Infocom and others who are really focusing on that. I think the industry benefits from that and from that diversity, if nothing else, and new ideas and ways to communicate. So in short, just jump in and go, and don't wait for anybody else. It's yours.
I love that answer. And that's pretty much what I did. That's pretty much what I did. Just jump right into it and see if I drown or swim. Right. So, guess we're on the right path.
What's the downside? The downside is you try something. That's it. You tried. And nothing, for the most part, is 100% failure. There's always a learning opportunity or something that becomes the seed that goes to the next level. You just read that through time and with the best of the best minds in the world, and golly, there's no time like today. And you know what? Older generation owners of companies, regardless of whether it's integrators or service providers, if you ask them most times, what is it you're looking for? Just enthusiasm, desire, excitement. Go out. They'd rather hold you back than sit around and beg you to do something. That's the ideal candidate for today. That's changed. We used to look for technical skills. What kind of chops do you really have in the industry? That's all changed today, and it's a great opportunity.
I agree.
Chris, that's awesome advice. Even for some of us older folk, that is awesome advice. So we want to close it up, Chris. Wanted to ask you one final question. As the executive director, what does the future look like for PSNI, and maybe more importantly, the long-term benefits for your partners?
Well, I think it's a great question. I might rephrase it to say, what's the future of our industry? Because really, PSNI is only a reflection of our members or our affiliates. So, if the industry is in peril, then eventually, or indirectly, and eventually directly, we will be as well. I think there are tremendous opportunities, and I think there's tremendous challenges for our industry ahead, whether it be disruptive technologies, 50-50, opportunity 50, take us out of our comfort zone in the way we're doing business today. I see PSNI being a healthy part of a healthy industry. I do think integrators who try to do it on their own, large or small, are missing tremendous opportunities if they don't look at how to become a partner with an organization like a PSNI. We're not here to make money per se. We take everything we make from our resources and we plow that back into programs that benefit the broad group of our members. So we're healthy. We believe we will stay healthy. We think global expansion will help position our members to be prepared to provide services uniquely and as a differentiator over the next 3 to 5 years as global opportunities take place. It's this type of software that's allowing that to happen on a regular routine basis to improve communication in large enterprise opportunities. So from that perspective, I think it's great. We're looking for integrators globally, certainly the top 150 GDP cities in the world. We're looking for some in select markets in North America, best of the best in some of the markets where we don't have coverage. So, we would encourage integrators who believe they're the best in their markets, who want to be better, to give us a call as well. So that was kind of a shameless plug, Noble.
Awesome.
I like it. So, like Noble said, we're gonna start to wrap it up. But Haley, give us one key takeaway, maybe from the marketing perspective, that you'd like to leave for companies that may be considering transitioning into larger organizations and looking to leave that global footprint.
Yeah, do it. From the community,
right?
Just do it. Nike. No, from the community, the culture, the networking, the learning aspects, the networking again, the different materials, the programs. I mean, this is just such a cool organization. And the longer you're in it, the more you're like, oh, I didn't know there was so much to it. It's an amazing opportunity for any integrator looking to be a part of something a little bit bigger than themselves and to just establish a sense of community. I think that's overall the biggest thing with PSNI. You become partners with these people. They become, your soundboard for when you have an issue. These are all competitors who come together to learn from one another. I mean, that's amazing. That's not something you see in this industry. So, I would just, like I said, just do it because you won't regret it. You won't look back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Good stuff. And I got to tell you, Haley, one of the things that I recognized when I attended your event was that it almost had like a family atmosphere to it. It was like everyone, like you said, even though they're competitors, like everyone was, engaged with everyone else's business and what they were doing and how to make each other better. And so Exactly. It's just a really unique dynamic that I hadn't experienced before, in our industry. So I think it's a really good thing that you all have going there. So
exactly. Such a sense of culture amongst our group.
Absolutely. So, all right. So now we are getting to the final segment of the show, and this is the lightning round. And during the lightning round, and Chris, you drew the short straw today. So you're going to be in the hot seat. The lightning round, you will have 60 seconds to answer random questions. Alicia's going to be the timekeeper. She's going to alert you at 30 seconds and then again at 10 seconds. I'm going to be asking you the questions and we're going to get this thing kicked off. And the object is to see how many questions that you can get through in 60 seconds. All right. Are you ready?
Oh, geez. How did that get short straw?
All right, Alicia, you ready with the timer?
I'm ready. And let's go.
All right, Chris, if you were a car, what kind of car would you be?
Porsche.
Awesome. What is the last song you danced to?
Wow. I don't know that one.
Okay, if you could clone yourself, what would you have your other half do?
What was the question?
If you could clone yourself, what would you have your other half do?
30 seconds.
Man, I guess I shouldn't have got short straw on this.
I want to play.
Jump in, Haley.
Me? Yoga teacher.
Teacher? Yeah. Wow, not me. I'd probably be
This is so good.
Is that all of them, or is that 60 seconds for that one question?
Okay, time is up. Time is up.
That was your worst lightning round.
That was epic.
That was something.
That was epic.
Oh my God.
We have done, I don't know, 10 lightning rounds.
Yeah.
I think we lost.
This is going to be the funniest one, though. Seriously.
This one, oh my gosh. So,
Oh my God.
So Chris,
did I
you're representing
back about 10 years, didn't I?
Chris, you're representing PSNI. So we're going to give you guys a chance to renew yourself.
Oh my God.
And we're going to, Haley, you are now holding the short straw.
Okay.
We're going to run round two.
Your turn, Haley.
Okay.
This is the first.
All right.
We're going to run round 2 of the lightning round.
I'm super pumped.
And we'll see. I think you answered a question or two, Chris. Maybe.
I think he has like one.
Okay. we'll keep that one
I have
checked
to
off.
beat 2.
All right, Alicia, we're going to restart the clock. We've never done this.
Clock's reset. Clock's
All right.
reset.
All right, so here we go, Haley. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Sour Patch Kids or M&M's?
M&M's.
Which actor would you pick to play you in the story of your life?
Sandra Bullock.
All right.
Good one.
What's the one food you could never bring yourself to eat?
Fish.
All right. Cable TV or streaming service?
Streaming service.
Okay. Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
Introvert.
Awesome.
30 seconds.
What is your favorite cartoon growing up?
Bugs Bunny? I couldn't think of any.
Rock and roll or country?
Rock and roll.
Awesome. What age do you wish you could permanently be?
30.
Okay. And do you prefer swimming or running?
Running. I can't
And
swim.
lastly,
Fun fact.
your favorite
Time.
your favorite alcoholic
Time.
beverage?
Beer.
Awesome.
Beer.
Awesome.
Any beer.
That's pretty good. Chris, I think she saved you.
Yeah, she definitely said.
I could have answered those questions. Yours were harder for me.
That's what
I'll
it
give you
was.
that.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's probably true. So, well, we appreciate both of you playing. That's good stuff. That's going to make for some good videos. So, all right. So, for the folks that may be interested, the listeners that may have an interest of reaching out to either one of the both of you, or maybe even getting some additional information about how they can become part of PSNI, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you all?
Yeah, we do have some openings for some affiliates. So visit our website at www.psni.org. And you can reach myself, Haley, at hklein@psni.org.
And C. Miller at psni.org.
Or find us on Twitter at PSNI_AV or PSNI_Haley or at PSNI_Chris.
Awesome. All right. We will have all of the contact details in the show notes. And Alicia, you can go ahead and we'll let you close us out.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that we can have y'all on today. Like I said, there's nobody in our space doing what you all are doing, marketing wise, affiliate wise, and it's pretty amazing to watch. So thank you so much for joining us, both Haley and Chris. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. This was so fun.
Yeah, this was a great time. And so thank you for joining us on our new season. We look forward to seeing you at one of your events in the near future or, of course, at the next InfoComm always. And it's a pleasure. Again, everyone, thank you for listening to The Social Slice, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Jump on over to iTunes to leave a rating and review. This will help us improve our ranking and grow our brand. We appreciate your feedback.
Also, be sure to check out the show notes on socialslice.io, where you can link to all the resources mentioned in today's episode.
Want to join us on the show? Or you have an idea about a future topic? Follow us on Twitter at Social Slice Show or Facebook at Social Slice.
Tune in next week as we bring you more tools, tips, and strategies to help you connect, engage, and grow your brand.